So what were we doing? We are doing something about light, right? We are talking about light. So that's about the topic light. So the biggest secret of light that we have seen in the last class, what was it? Is light visible or not visible?
It's not visible.
So light, how many of you have seen light? Is there anyone who has seen light? So is there anyone who has seen light? Yuvraj, you have seen light?
Yes.
No. Veda, no. Yuvraj, yes, Yuvraj, you have seen light?
Yes.
Yes, you have seen light. Say, see, what we have seen is generally what happens is we feel that we see light, but we don't see light. What do we see? We see objects when light is there. So light is an invisible form of energy, right? Light is an invisible form of energy. And what does it do? It makes objects visible to us. So it is not actually visible to us. Sun rays have bit light visible. Okay, Karthik says when light falls on some object. So when light falls on some object, what do you see? You see the object or you see light? Khushi? When light falls on the object, Khushi, you see object or you see light? It sometimes reflects, that's fine. But what do you see? You see the object. Okay, and Karthik says sun rays. When we see sun rays, it's a very common phenomena that we often come across early in the morning or late in the evenings. You have a small part of the window open. Then you see rays coming in, right, Karthik? So what do you, if you...
Yes, sir.
Yes. So is that not light? That's what is your question, right? So,
yes, sir.
So if you closely observe that beam, you can see some dust particles there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can see some small dust, very small dust particles floating in that place. So does that mean that there are dust particles only in that path and nowhere else in the room?
No, sir.
So dust particles are present in other places also?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So then why are you seeing the dust particle only in that, particular portion? What might be the reason? Karthik, you can, or anyone else can also answer it. So, we generally see a ray coming in. So when we see the ray coming in, we see, if you closely observe that ray, you'll see some dust particles, right? So if dust particles are present everywhere in the room, why are we seeing the dust particles only in that path? Yes, Vansh, you're welcome to answer. Anyone? You can put on your microphone and answer, or type your response in the chat box. Karthik, due to the rays reaches in that sufficient area, okay? Veda, the question is, Karthik just typed that we see sun rays coming into the room, right? So is that not light? Because we just said that light is not visible. Then what are those rays? Are those rays light rays or they're different? So what I was saying is, you'll see some dust particles in that path. Fine. And, he said that, Karthik said that there are dust particles everywhere in the room, but we are only able to see the dust particles in that path. What might be the reason for that? Yes, Unmana, Amulya, Arisha, anyone? Anyone can answer it? Oh, Veda, it's not light. Okay. So then what is it? If it is not light, what is it? Okay. I think I'll give the answer. Yes, others? Harsh? Harsh, can you answer it? So it is not the light, it is the reflection. Okay, Unmana, as of now, we don't know what is reflection. Oh, it's ultraviolet rays. You're telling me so many new things. Fine. See, what we see are the dust particles. The dust particles which are illuminated by the light. We don't see light there. Got it? So not only this, like in those good olden days when we used to go to movie theaters, you'll see that some rays coming from the projector fall on the screen, right? So if you look behind, you'll see a ray of rays coming. So those are also, what are those rays? Only on the screen we can see what is, the movie, but on the path, because there is light present there, we see the dust particles floating there. Radio waves, I'm hearing so many new things. So we don't see any of these things, radio waves, ultraviolet waves. We only see the dust particles which are illuminated by the light. I hope that's clear to all of you. Any doubt? So light is not visible anywhere. So wherever you're talking about seeing light, you're actually seeing the objects which are being illuminated by light. So that's what we are discussing the other day. And then after that, what we tried to define was the various kinds of objects. What are the various types of objects, or how do objects, respond to light, depending on the way the objects respond to light. So first we said there are something called transparent objects. So what are transparent objects? What are transparent objects? And we'll say opaque, and then we'll go to the next part. Then we have opaque objects, transparent objects. Yes, what are transparent objects and what are opaque objects? Yes, Priscilla, you can answer.
Transparent objects are where the light passes completely through the object. And opaque object is an object which blocks the path of light.
Okay, thank you very much. Veda, you want to say something?
So, translucent objects are when little light is allowed to pass through.
There are okay. Thank you, Veda. Thank you very much. Fine. So we'll discuss about the objects which allow only a little light pass through them a little later, right? So transparent objects are what? Objects which allow light to pass through them. Fine. So then we saw, if there is a transparent object here, there is a transparent object here. If there is a source here, and I'm an observer here, right? So if source is here, there is a transparent object and there is an observer here. Can this object be seen? Is this object visible or not visible?
Not visible, sir.
So this is a transparent object, this is the source, and here is an observer. Is this object visible or not visible? Quick. So now I'll just take a poll and let me see how many of you think it is visible and how many say it's not visible. So here visible is yes and not visible is no. You can quickly respond. Visible is yes and not visible is no. So you have a source of light on the opposite side of the observer, and there is a transparent object in between the observer and source. Harsh, Akshat, I want your response. So yes is visible, no is invisible. So we have anyone else to answer? Okay, all the students have answered.
Can you tell the question again? I just.
Atta, you are not responded. I see you responded. Okay, the question is, if there is a transparent object between source and observer, is this object visible or not visible? So that's what is the question. So this is what we have. So there are 7 people who say it is visible and 6 people who say it is not visible. So I'll pick one person who says yes and one person who says no. Anyone who says yes, can you explain why is it so?
Yes, because the object is transparent.
Okay.
So light is allowed to pass through.
Okay, so light is allowed to pass through it. Okay, Veda. So Veda says it is visible because object is transparent and light passes through it. Fine. Anyone else? Delisha, can you? Karthik, yes, Karthik. Go ahead.
Sir, I want to tell about not visible.
I'll get back to you. Let's first finish off with the people who say it is visible. Delisha, Khushi, Syed, Vansh. Any one of you, can you tell me why do you think it is visible?
Sir, it is visible because the light can pass through it because it is transparent and because it is a transparent object.
Okay, fine. So you also have a similar opinion. Anyone else who has a different answer to this other than what Delisha or who else has Veda has said? To the same one, the people who say yes. Arna, any explanation from you? Was it an accident that you put yes, or
Before I thought it was no, but now I think it's yes, because in the night, I actually have a window, so when I look at it, I see my reflection.
Okay, you see your reflection. Can you see the window? That's what is I'm asking. Of course, that's a small, little different phenomena. We'll discuss about that also, right?